Soul Risers, welcome back. So this is a continuation to my multi-part series on the psychology of romantic relationships, and it's a sequel to the previous recordings I uploaded onto the channel, which talked about core versus quirks, which talked about understanding our past patterns and attachment styles, not only our own but also how it matches with our partners or our future partners. And in today's video, I will be talking about the next step. So every new recording and upload, I will be talking about sort of the progress from childhood to adulthood, and then from being in a relationship to sustaining a long-term relationship and so on. That's sort of the sequence of development. And so today I'll be talking about the here and now, the present. And when I talk about the present, a very popular word that comes up is mindfulness. That's right. Mindfulness isn't an overrated concept, but it's something that is universal, and it can be universalized in all aspects of our life, including our relationships. And since this talk is specifically geared towards romantic relationships, however, don't feel that it's only limited to that. It applies to any other type of healthy relationship goals that you have in your life. And so when we talk about mindfulness, what is this concept? It's basically being in the here and now. That, put simply, mindfulness is being in the here and now. And when you practice mindfulness, not only in your life, but in your interactions with your partner, you very quickly realize that there's so much there to observe, so much there to learn, just by observing the person's, not just their verbal communication, but also their facial expressions, their body language. All of these things speak volumes about how the person is feeling versus just their words. And so what mindfulness does is it takes you out of your head and into the present, and helps you observe the situation, observe your partner, and see the situation as it is, not as you assume it to be, not as you perceive it to be, but whatever is coming at you, you just look at it in a very objective manner. So let's say you and your partner go out for dinner, or you just started, seeing this new person, and you start entertaining all these expectations and assumptions that you have about the other person. But when you start observing them for what they bring to the table, then what you allow yourself to do is not only be mindful of the other person in terms of, when they say that, do they feel like they're willing to do it? Is their tone seeming like it's willing to do something, or is their tone a little reserved? Do their facial expressions, their body language, is it a more open sort of body language, or is it a closed body language? Are they sort of, okay, we can do that, but they're just sort of reserved? Or are they like, okay, we can do that? So when you are mindful, you sort of, don't get stuck in your own thinking, in your own perception of the situation, but you give the situation a fair chance. And so when you practice mindfulness in any dynamic, it really helps enhance your knowledge and your ability to understand that dynamic to its fullest. And what it does also is it takes you to one of the most important wisdom teachings that was put forth by Miguel Ruiz in his book The Four Agreements, which is, one of them is, don't take things personally. What happens is when you step out of your own sort of muddled, preoccupied mind, and you see the person for who they are, you don't take things personally. You say, okay, that's coming from them, that's on them. Like, okay, I may be part of the situation or within the situation, but this specific situation, it's all that person. It's not got to do with me. And so it becomes helpful to you to practice mindfulness because you also engage in that healthy sort of distancing and your ability to not join up with the other person, or not, there's a very specific word for it. It's called enmeshment in psychology. So you are better at not allowing yourself to enmesh with the other person, which in some cases can be very unhealthy if it's taken to an extreme. And so in order to avoid misassuming things, or misinterpreting things, or seeing the world through merely your perceptions of the world, you give the dynamic, you give the situations a fair chance, and then you also allow yourself to not take things personally and just see them for what they are. You sort of get over all that like no nonsense type of you have a no nonsense type of observation and approach to the dynamic, and you are more present. So far from the previous videos in this series, we learned how it's important to know your past patterns, your attachment styles, and how they play out in any dynamic, and which attachment styles go with each other. And now we are interested in sort of seeing how you yourself in the present moment unfold your own behaviors, actions, thoughts, and perceptions in any given moment. Mindfulness is a great practice, and it's extremely helpful. It's a very helpful tool to embody and utilize in your own lives, not just in the domain of building healthy romantic relationships, but also for any other healthy relationship that you want to build and work on. So stay tuned for the next set of videos that will be uploaded on the psychology of romantic relationships. We took care of the past, we're going into the present, and slowly we'll be moving to other parts that are important to know and embody in the here and now. Our next video will touch upon concepts like self-confidence, self-worth, and our ability to navigate within that dynamic, our love languages, and we'll touch upon all of those aspects as well. So stay tuned, subscribe to my channel for more invigorating videos if you find them helpful. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified about whichever videos come up as and when they come up. And I'm looking forward to interacting with you on this level within this area of exploration. See you soon. Bye.